Okay, so good morning, Kara. I'm Claudia. Would you like to start off by telling me why you're here today?
Sure. So I've just been really kind of stressed out lately. I'm trying to make a big decision. I am applying to grad school for the fall in social work,
Mm-hmm.
and I was accepted to two different programs,
Excellent.
which is great. But one has offered me a much better deal financially, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm still in debt from undergrad and still paying off loans, and just haven't been able to save up anything. Um, so that's great, but it isn't as great of a match for what I want to do as the other program. It's
Okay.
also location wise. I would have to move, and actually, what would make the most sense is moving back in with my family, which again would save more money, but I'm just, at a place in my life where I don't really feel that great about moving back in with them.
Okay.
Whereas the other program is really much more in line with what I would like to do, and it's closer to where I live now. But I would just be getting myself further in debt, and so I just can't decide what the smart thing is to do. You know,
Right.
one way or the other, and I go back and forth every day, and I just don't know how to weigh the decision.
Okay. Well, congratulations, first of all. It definitely also sounds like you've done your research, for both programs. And just a question that I have you gone to the schools to kind of check out the environment and see where you felt more comfortable?
I interviewed at both schools,
Okay.
but I haven't spent that much time at
Okay.
either of them beyond
Okay.
that.
All right. So it sounds like, you are torn and it is a big decision, and I completely understand that. Where do you see yourself as far as maybe we think about after graduation, if that's not too far down the road?
So what I'd like to do is be working in a hospital setting,
Okay.
and that's why the one program is more health focused, and also specifically, um, even within that, they have a cancer focus, which is
Okay.
really what I want to do. Um,
And that's the program that's
that's more
further away and
expensive,
more
yeah.
expensive. Okay. All right. And also, um, okay, so it sounds like, you've got a pretty hard decision, and, at one school you'd be maybe a little happier. You wouldn't have to worry about, giving up your social life and things like that. But, at the other school, you could, save money, although it may not be exactly where you'd like to be. Does that sound about right?
Exactly, and I
Okay,
just can't decide if I'm going to be so stressed about money
right,
the whole time going to the one program, even though, I might be happier with the actual program and with my lifestyle. I just don't know if that's going to outweigh everything for me.
okay,
Whereas, in the other scenario, I could at least relax and feel good that I made like a logical decision about that, even if it is. And then a part of me is like, it's only 2 years. Am I
mm-hmm.
really going to get that much more into debt just for 2 years? But then sometimes I think 2 years sounds like a really long time to not be happy. So I go back and forth.
Okay. Now, going to the school where you'd stay at home and, maybe commute and save and all those things, how do you think the outcome would be? What do you think your outcome would be like if you went there instead?
That's the thing. I think that I probably still can get to where I want to go. I don't think it's going to prohibit that. It just,
Mm-hmm.
I know for sure at the other school that there are great connections and people who could get me, more exactly where I want to be faster. But I
Right.
will have the same degree. I know that I could get to where I want to go.
Okay. As far as family, how do you feel about leaving your family, staying with family? Sounds like that's kind of a central, significant area
Yeah, it
for
is.
you.
Like I said, it just would make all the sense in the world if I were to choose the, more financially um, easier option to move in with them as well, which is just an added bonus. And they all, my home is really close, it would just make the most sense. But
Mhm.
I just don't feel that great about. My parents would be fine with it. I know they would support whichever decision, but and they haven't really expressed an opinion either way. But I just feel like I'm supposed to be on my own at this point, and I just don't really like the idea of relying on them. I feel like I should figure it out for myself.
Okay. So it sounds like you have the sense that you should be independent and
Exactly.
on your own. And have you been on your own during undergrad? You moved away, went to school.
Yeah, exactly.
Out of
I
your
did, and
area?
that's
Okay.
kind of why it would feel like taking a step backward almost.
Right. Okay.
So,
Okay. Okay. So what I'm hearing is that would like to go away to this other school. There are some financial concerns that you have. Do you think that, maybe are there the options to work while you're in this other program? Ultimately, I would want you to do, what you think is best for you, and, what you're most happy with. Have you thought or even kind of pursued options where you could make money and pay things off as you go to school?
I have, and there are a couple of things, and I'm working on applications for a couple more like internship type opportunities
Okay.
that would help. But it still just wouldn't be nearly as
Right.
good as the other opportunity. But so no matter what, I still would have to take out loans, I think. But it would help with there are ways that sort of the day to day financially I could make it work, but I would still need to take out more additional loans for the tuition.
Okay. Yeah, that would be one of my major concerns is, whether you would be able to, support yourself at least on a day-to-day basis, with food and things like that, your necessities. So if you can cover those things, I think that that's important. Okay, Karis, I just have a couple more questions for you. How would you say that you handle money?
I feel like I go back and forth a little bit. I definitely am always, it's kind of always a stressor in the back of my mind, so I don't, I definitely don't do anything outrageous in terms of spending, but then, there will be weeks when I just get so frustrated because it's only ever going in one direction that I just am kind of like, well, I might as well at least have fun if I'm just going to be adding on to my, loans anyway. I might as well have fun while I'm doing it. So then I'll go out and, do a little more. Nothing crazy, but just not as careful as I know I should be. And then the next week, I feel really bad that I did that and won't go out at all. So I think that's why I'm, staying in my current social life and going to this less financially optimal program. I just worry that stress, like week to week, is going to just increase even more.
Right. Okay. And does your family help you at all with finances?
They would try. I have siblings in college right now too, so I just don't want to be an added burden on them right now. They would, certainly if I was ever desperate, they would absolutely, but again, it's the same feeling of that would feel similar to me as moving back home. I just,
It's the independence
exactly,
aspect?
yeah.
Okay. So you'd like to be able to, sounds like you'd like to be able to take care of your own goals, your own finances, live on your own, take care of your own expenses. But that you also get frustrated a lot or sometimes and maybe overspend and then regret it. So there's a little bit of guilt that comes after.
And most of my friends, if I sort of stay in my current social life, are all working and they have more money to spend.
Right. you're going to maybe want to spend the same amount.
Exactly,
And
yeah, and I,
Yeah.
then I don't get to do the things I want to do with them because,
Right.
I don't want to spend the money. So
Okay.
that's why another part of me is like, well, I might as well just go live at home,
Yeah.
and not even be tempted. But
And you said your siblings are away at college?
Mhm.
Okay. And your parents fund a lot of that, or okay, so they help out with that as well. And now, are there any other reasons that you are thinking of moving away? Are there, is there another relationship that is important that, would take you to this other place, or?
um, not really. I mean, all my friends, my big group of friends are where I am now.
Okay.
Which is a good thing and a bad thing, I think,
Mhm.
because I really would feel isolated living with my family, I think. So I just don't really have many friends back there anymore.
Right.
But again, I feel like my social life is where I spend the most money. So when it comes back, it all keeps coming back around to the money, and that would help there again. But I don't think I'd be very happy not doing anything.
Right. Right. Okay. Stuff, a difficult decision to make. And, there are a lot of feelings that I'm hearing from you, going back and forth and being uncertain and, not wanting to put extra stress on yourself with finances and all of those things. And I think what you should do is maybe try to work out a budget. So, just take a piece of paper, split it down the middle, and on both sides, just really put down in pen or pencil just exactly how much you're going to spend. And maybe that, would, allow you to see the bigger picture, and you could decide whether you feel like it would be worth it.
Like over the 2 years, how it would.
Right, right. How much money you would spend in both scenarios. I think that would be, pretty eye-opening, and you could decide if it was worth it. And then also, along with that, you can list pros and cons of being in both places as well. I definitely recommend that you maybe spend a little more time at one school and the other, just to see what the students there like, how the campus and the atmosphere flows, and what the environment is like, since you had a pretty short period of time in each place. And then we can certainly meet again and discuss the two places and what you've come up with, and maybe just putting it down on paper will make you have a better idea of a decision that you might make.
Oh.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.